A first-round series against the Habs, I said. Leafs will probably win, I said. This is Toronto! Oh, we're not doing this anymore?
What? You serious?
Mind blown. We need ideas.
I'm dumb. Silly hard.
We get to the game, please. Leafs lose 4-2 to the Winnipeg Jets, essentially killing their playoff hopes. Not officially, there's still a little bit of hope, but essentially. Well, but it's not all bad. I tell you what, this shouldn't be a very happy video. I'm definitely gonna rant a little bit, but at the end, I have some good news. It's gonna end on a good note, but it ain't gonna start on one. What do you remember from the last month? An eternal optimist would look back and go, you know what? The Leafs beat the Ducks, they beat the Kings, and they beat the Bruins. The first victory that I mentioned there, the Leafs win against the Ducks, that happened less than a month ago, March 10th. Remember that? Do you remember that? Death Valley, they call it. Leafs march into California and they have to face 3 of the top teams in not just the West, but the entire league. And despite getting outshot gruesomely in every game, they won 2 of them. I don't care what Core see, I just care what I see, and that's 2 Leafs wins in California. All but securing a playoff spot. I mean, unless after the Leafs leave California and end their road trip, they lose 8 straight. Washington, Detroit, Tampa, Montreal, St. Louis, Philly, Detroit again, Calgary, Boston, Winnipeg, the Jets, Andre Pavelectric and the Jets. Now James Reimer started well this season, but overall he's had a season to forget. Just a .907 save percentage. That's not good enough. Andre Pavelectric's a .901! If James Reimer goes to Winnipeg, like many suspect he will, although it'll probably have to be through a trade, there's a chance he'll be their starting goalie. In fact, I'd say it's pretty good. I mean, Al Montoya's got a .920 going, that's pretty sick. But if Reimer goes home, that could be his team. But why am I throwing out these stats? If the Leafs are a playoff team, and that's what they're trying to be, a playoff team, this is a gimme. The Jets are no pushovers. I think they're a very underrated team. They have some very underrated players, but they are still a defensive catastrophe. And their goaltending on many nights, specifically from Pavelectric, is, suspect. Garbage, it's garbage. If you're a playoff team with these kinds of stakes, and it's a Saturday night game, hockey night in Canada, you come out a little better. And there was hope. Bozy, 6 sauce to Philly cheese. Ooh, Philly cheese and Bo sauce. That should be their name. Say what you want about Bozak, but wow. What is that, marinara? Al vodka? Kid sick. But Andrew Ladd is able to just Carl Gunnarsson out of the way. But Nazem Kadri gets a gimme. Pavelectric. But the Leafs give up a goal with 2 seconds left in the first. Second period, the Leafs get hemmed up. They take a penalty. The Jets shoot. Reimer's completely screened, but he's fighting the puck. He's completely screened. And the Jets take the lead for good. Olli Jokinen just having a great old time in the Leafs zone. Scores. That's the dagger. And with the Leafs almost gone playoff hopes, goes James Reimer's potentially last game at the Air Canada Centre. Okay, so the Leafs play Boston. They force them to Game 7. I'm sorry, I gotta bring this up every video, but they force them to Game 7. 4-1 in the third. There's the collapse. There's a lot of lessons to be learned from that. This is a very young team. The Leafs can get better. They're good. At least they were in that series. They were good. But they can be better. The lesson to be learned here, IMHO, losing to the Jets on home ice, last home game of the season, with these kind of stakes, getting beat that handily. They were outshot, what was it, 41-25? There's a long way to go, not just a little bit. And I gotta bring it back to Carlyle, who many think will get fired if the Leafs miss the playoffs. I don't know, I'm starting to think he'll skate. Pun, hockey. But after the game, he said he was baffled. I can't understand but Toaster. What's going on with this team defensively? So, alright. Earlier in the season, he says it's not his job to motivate the Leafs. Then he says the problems they have are correctable. And they don't get corrected, do they? Then he goes, he's baffled as to what's going on. What would you say you do here? And I understand why Carlyle would feel he doesn't need to motivate these men. It's not his job. They are, after all, full adults. Even Morgan Rielly, multi-millionaires, and hockey is what they do for a living. But maybe give them a little push, you know? And I don't know if ice time is always the best tool. Oh, it's a tool, but I don't know if it's always the best tool. Whatever happened to the miracle on ice. If we play them 10 times, they might win 9, but not tonight. Actually, the version of that speech I remember better is when that little kid says it. I'm so sick of tired of hearing what a great hockey team the Soviets have. Screw them! And I'm like, yeah, little kid, tell them. So I have a very interesting question of the game, I think. I'll let you be the judge of that. Who just had their last game at the Air Canada Centre as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs? James Reimer, Randy Carlyle, or both? Maybe you want to go off the board. Maybe say Cody Franzen. Maybe a Mason Raymond. Maybe Nazem Kadri. There's a whole lot of maybes. And you know what? That was a little depressing. Was that a little depressing? At the end of the day, what happens on the ice, happens on the ice. You and I, you watching this, we don't control that. I mean, we buy the tickets, the jersey, the merchandise, but me screaming into a camera and you watching it, that's not gonna change the outcome. Well, then again, my seance did work the other day on the podcast. No, I'm not. But I get messages all the time like, you know, when the Leafs lose, the best part of it is watching your videos, Steve. And I'm like, you are a gem. If I didn't have this outlet to yell and scream at and reenact scenes from 300 and twerk on the wall and all sorts of other things, I think I would just go nuts. What would I do at a regular office job? Glenn, what are you doing over there? Well, I prefer to go by Dangles, sir, and I'm actually just going to talk hockey for the first 8 hours of my shift. Your shift's only 8 hours! Phew, someone's a Habs fan. And I'm fine. Point being, thank you very much for watching. And this sounds like the last video of the season, doesn't it? No, it's not. But many have asked, what are your plans for the playoffs? Well, my plans until then is hope the Leafs make them. But regardless of the Leafs making the playoffs, I'm going to be making NHL playoff videos. I don't care who the Hawks play, Avalanche play, the Penguins play, the Bruins play, the Flyers play. I'm going to be covering all those teams. If you're not a fan of the Leafs, I'm going to talk about your team. Don't worry about it. And if you are a fan of the Leafs, I'll talk about them too. Don't worry, Toronto's the center of the universe. I know that. And the reason I'm saying all this is this.
Woo! Are you just gonna get hammered? Get me a toaster. Magic Angel Robot from Winnipeg!
What the hell are you talking about?
This team is ruining my life!
It's taken an extremely long time. It's taken 7 years of hard work making these videos. This is video 1000, and I have an announcement. Tech Savvy has come on board as a sponsor, and they're going to be on board for the rest of the season and the playoffs. You've got to understand how important this is. Getting a sponsor on board means I can make more videos. If you like my videos, there's no way this is a bad thing, trust me. And it's just a fluke, a wonderful, awesome fluke, that this happened in video number 1000. Some of you, and I see your comments all the time, have been around since day one. Some of you have watched every one of those 1,000 videos. That's amazing. I don't think my family has watched all of them. And you gotta think, 1,000 videos, 2 to 10 minutes each. You've watched me for days of your lives. And I thank you. Because you're the reason I make these videos, and you're the reason, you helped me get this. So thank Tech Savvy very much. You can follow them on Twitter at TechSavvyBuzz or TechSavvyCSR, and thank you so much. Whatever, sponsor, that means Steve's gonna tone it down. Turn down for what? You can't turn this down. Turn what down? This ass? Nah, I'll stay a maniac, don't you worry. In the meantime, this isn't the end, it's only the beginning. There's a few more LFR videos to go. Will there be playoff ones? That's kind of up to the Leafs and the Red Wings and the Blue Jackets and the Capitals and the Devils, but still, win or lose for the blue and white, I hope you're ready for some more videos, because I am.